Hello, everybody.
Solidify!
I see everything. Let's play. Shine down. Ha! Now you shall perish.
Hello, King. How's it going?
Clear skies can do nothing to hide the brilliance of lightning.
I am good. I've been playing Genshin for the last little bit, and it's been great.
Illusion shut! Brace yourselves. Time for takeoff. Everyone hold hands. Hey! Everyone hold hands. Yahoo! Yeah. Shine down! Think you can get away? I see everything!
This is order!
Let's play! Illusion shattered! Time for takeoff.
Wow, thanks, man.
This may hurt a little. Grow, grow, grow!
I will have order!
Shine down!
I just killed a little fox. Hi, Goku.
There is no escape!
Stabilize!
Think you can get away?
Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
Try something new at the one-man restaurant.
Alright, my dailies are done. Off we go. How are we doing so far? Nice, nice. I am breakfast.
Maloose, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most... You said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. But no matter how much, not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene. Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss, even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been... There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes.
if that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely... Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the...
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, but what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been so...
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare... And the serial disappearances case cost him. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of but as long as you remain safe, he would not share the... If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time,
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared.
no father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could...
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be...
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. And, Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of... But if you want to use it against the...
Why? If we know where the...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed.
Then, in that case...
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearance.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for you.
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an... When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the Synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also, thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus... There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. The Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're...
So, they're like a sister organization?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided... It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities...
I see. These are to think that the enemy...
If you want to investigate them...
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit.
Oh, thank you so much, Mel.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to...
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and...
Thank you for arranging everything for...
Excuse me, miss.
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died,
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring...
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more...
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't...
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and even if he fired the shot that killed my husband. It was likely...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? If Papa always wanted to be a good man, so...
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a really...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think that's the first time anyone's...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Yahoo!
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned, do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill, so he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two, so I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do was get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Oh, see, no, I would never do that.
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Sure. I will...
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw...
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and the...
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was... Then I heard the sound of a gun...
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me... All my wealth comes from...
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. Anyway, even though we...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right!
According to Jacques' family members, he... If I had to...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective? Makes sense. Besides Jacques, it's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even...
Given everything that's happened since, it's... But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford... Still really hard for me to... Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot... Thierry, you say? But...
Yeah. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find...
Florent? But... Spina di Rosso...
So you're saying he's...
Exactly. He can't. Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through,
Could we be missing other suspects?
Malus has always been very... The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. We need far more salt...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been...
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guard?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartat.
What? Is that...
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it. So if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigation.
Right. Because they'll think...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder than to...
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused... You're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be...
We'll help you, just like you helped...
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. When did...
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson, and it's our hope that...
Thank you so much.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.
I'll take care of...
Let the show begin.
This is the kind of surprise I...
Go, Barbara, go!
dance. This is the kind of surprise I could sing about. I'll protect us. Keep. There is no escape.
Everyone hold hands. This may hurt a little. Curiosity deserves a reward.
Let's dance.
Grow, grow, grow.
A walk would be nice.
Here we go.
Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance.
Thanks, game. Appreciate that.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth you're right. Navia's probably...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia.
Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearance. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default. Correct?
Oh. A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What Confrérie?
I've heard of them, but...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take... Members of the guards, please contact me... Mr. Marcel, you will not require...
Apologies, sir. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is...
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests, when the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearm. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, Callus was defeated by champion duelist. These are the known...
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard... However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the... A pile of clothing was found at the scene, but now it is... Since it was raining that... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus. The testimony of... However, unfortunately... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus...
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respect.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was...
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence?
I'm afraid not. I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to... Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified...
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my...
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask him. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand,
So, during the duel...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live, or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but...
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are in my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by it? But if I were to dismiss this do you know what the biggest flaw in...
I suppose you're gonna tell me any...
It's timing. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, in addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business... But the disappearances began before...
I do apologize, Demoiselle.
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the
Seems like she got the wrong...
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a but aren't you going again? He wished for you to be... Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never...
I was waiting for you to say that.
No, I want to go back out. No.
Gather!
Illusion shattered!
Time for takeoff.
This may hurt a little. Whoa! need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Stabilize.
Roll.
Order guide you.
There is no escape.
Think you can get away?
Shine down.
Hey!
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
There is no escape.
Solidify.
Wouldn't gliding be time for takeoff?
This is order.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Torn to oblivion. Illusion shattered.
This may hurt a little. After all that, we fought, though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's... What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but... Huh? You mean the girls from this... And then... They were... And all the boxes of things. These names... Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all this. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can just... Paimon will take notes on this. is written here. Nothing is... Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not... The old dog's a real man. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Females? Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just, how can someone write something that terrible? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vacher is the one who did all of these... So that's it! Vacher was no victim. No, that's not it either! If that's the case, in any case... Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the... Mixing in progress. But whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? We've looked at almost everything here, and yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals it. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to write the... Sure thing. You take that side and... Nothing at all! And Paimon can't even find snacks either! Whoa, really? Let Paimon see! Vinier. Isn't that Vacher's lover's name? Then you found her dead? Aw. It's just a normal dive. So many! A whole page's worth! The final name sheet... Marcel! Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old! Has this case been going on for... Hey!
And whose image is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know...
I'm merely surprised.
I was waiting for you.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my part.
Just how often do you intend to...
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence... But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've...
Huh?
We've investigated your lair, and after your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on... You even created Marcel as a new identity!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's...
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away,
instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were left. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignere's death was brushed away. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignere is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, but I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me. I still need to save Vignere. A promise. We made a promise. Vignere, please, Vignere. Don't think badly of...
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignere back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the series...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought?
Yippee! He's hurt so many innocent people and now... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolute...
The day our late boss had always hoped for is...
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally over. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This is...
All right, but this...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus we now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique. According to the judgment of the guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunction?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger?
But weren't the charges about the serial...
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Nouvelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are... I don't know what happened there.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but...
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some... Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, and of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension, and all shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we should...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do...
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to... Oh, Monsieur Nervalet! That power...
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then it makes a mockery of justice.
Hello. What does my fluffy bottoms want? Go see Daddy. No? You wanna come cuddles? Okay. Cuddles. I have been chosen. Zach! I've been chosen. I think he's hungry.
Sounds like it's about to be a you problem.
Well, considering you're supposed to be at work. Are you hungry? Wanna go get some food? Come on, jump off and I'll go get you some food. I'll be right back, everybody. I need to go feed that thing. back and I brought myself some cheese puffs.
Stabilize!
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you...
Stop resisting arrest!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? The Fountain of Lucine? Then, please give me a chance to talk.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him...
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual... Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor,
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
in that case, I shall leave him in...
Thank you. Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even...
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it...
Vinier, it's me! It's...
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here!
Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You look...
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has... I must be dreaming. Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how...
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better. If not for you, I would have finished my life. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been if not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And it's all because of your
Wait, you are not...
You're right. I am not Vinier. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our conscious, our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm the only one I am not.
Why? But then...
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her... This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness! But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would... You are a liar. A heartless murderer. The only thing you are not. From the moment your first victim died, and her consciousness merged with Vignere's.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her, please! Have mercy!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignere. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's...
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the court since then. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive
Oh yeah, she told us about...
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust...
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better terms?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also...
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. and tell him and on top of that, that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We wanna go.
Sure thing. I'd like you to...
And in that case, everyone...
Yeah, you're right. Huh. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice...
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Nervalette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice, anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important, but Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved. Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that a justice that's higher than life. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh?
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need...
Ah, so Navia and Nervalette, see? Let's not disturb them. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing! But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly! Oh no! Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad! Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so...
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Nab...
We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her.
I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this, since you're usually...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor. Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the Opera Epiclese. Is there anything else? My apologies. My investigation has... However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you all...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses, which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to... In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have it. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. The time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed. Does that appropriately summarize the
That's right! It was Lenny that told us back then!
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant. And speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she
Is there anything else?
So, at court...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vache and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case.
Huh. So that's how it is.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people. Is there anything else? Very well. It was my honor to provide. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off. And so justice must work around the clock as well.
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
I think I've finished it. Well, that was depressing and sad and everything in between.
bombs away!
Okay, so I need to do 220 out of 450. Alright, so we've officially finished the Fontaine first two Archon quests.
escape! One with nature.
Get out of here!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Shine down! Now you shall perish! There is no escape! The wind knows me.
Get out of here!
Nice and spicy.
Clouds high. The birds come.
Everybody stand back!
Off we go!
You're toast!
Inazuma shines eternal! Illusion shattered! One with nature. Into the wind. brings a smile to my face. Follow the wind. Fateful offering. Time to go.
Gather!
Shine down! Brace yourselves! Everyone hold hands! Yeah. Hey! Yeah.
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Unsolicited, and all the more valuable for it.
Solidify! Stabilize!
escape.
Think you can get away?
Everyone hold hands. Share my knowledge.
Yahoo!
Illusion shattered.
Time for takeoff.
Make yourselves at home. I see everything.
Gather!
I hate world quests that don't have this because I don't have the energy to read all of this.
down.
Let's play.
Stabilize.
Everyone hold hands.
This is order.
Here we go. Think you can get away?
I see everything. Sharing my knowledge. Wish me luck. Let the show begin.
Solidify! Order guide you.
Evil conquering! Worthless! Here! Worthless! Here!
I'll protect us. Ready, steady, go!
Stabilize!
I swear by my sword! Useless! Disappear!
What is the situation?
Those memories. So dark.
Solidify!
Illusion shattered!
I will have order! Stabilize!
Shine down! yours! Wind, hear me!
Evil conquering! Worthless! Here!
Gather! Illusion shattered! Now you shall perish!
Order guide you!
I swear by my sword! There is no escape!
Solidified!
Illusion shattered! Inazuma shines eternal!
Alright.
Osmanthus what?
Okay, everybody, I'm going to end this here for now. I have to go to work, or get ready for work. So, I will be back tomorrow probably with more, since now we're done the Archon quest. We're basically going to work on getting my reputation high enough so I can do bounties and all that. We also need to do Lenny's quest, as well as Kaya's hangout. And like I said before, I am not pulling this banner. So all of these beautiful Primo Gems that I am currently saving up will be for Zhongli and Child, which are in 19 days. So basically, next month. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.